We had a resolution that came up 2 weeks ago, and the Congress asked for unlimited financial, monetary, military assistance to be committed to the Ukraine. And I certainly could not support that at the exact same time that we are seeing an invasion take place on our own southern border that this administration has ignored. The loss of life in the Ukraine is tragic and sad, and the people that have been misplaced, it's tragic and it's sad. But we had 100,000 people, 100,000 American citizens died last year from drug overdoses. The vast majority of them were from fentanyl that came across our southern border. 100,000 people. Now, just because they didn't die from a soldier's bullet who was wearing camouflage, they are just as dead from an invasion. The drugs are coming in, the drugs are coming in from Mexico, but the elements that they need to create those are coming in from China. We have an invasion that is taking place right now, and we absolutely must address it, or we're going to have additional problems going into the future. And I would much rather see us spend the resources on the southern border to secure our own nation rather than spend twice as much in the Ukraine to secure a border that there are no American citizens that are at risk, and there is no American interests that are at risk right now.
Consider the American southern border today. We were just in a hearing this morning, as a matter of fact, in which Border Patrol was describing drone flights over the Mexican-American border. 30,000 flights over the last 6 months, 4,300 drones operating in that area. Didn't break it down by how many were crossing the southern border, but what they were saying is that Mexican cartels are using drones to carry drugs across the border. You think about how much fentanyl could be carried by a drone, that they're using heavier versions of drones, and that they constantly use drones to monitor how Border Patrol is organized, where they're focusing on, so that they can facilitate smuggling efforts. And I asked them after a long hearing, and they were talking about renewing some authority that they needed, but it seemed to me the obvious question is, what reason is there to permit drones to operate back and forth across the American border? What in the world is the American government that has the responsibility to protect American interests doing, allowing that? And it was almost as if, you know, I had said something outrageous in the room. But that is, again, we see all too often in Washington, the priorities lost and groupthink take hold that determines how our nation is operating.